All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Goose, Ange, and Heck. Mission B33 Part 4. In this episode, aka the final installment, the crew's taking on a new challenge. We cover topics that range from challenge updates for Week 4, ups and downs we experience, results, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Ross Simmonds and Esther Hicks. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, gentlemen. Got through it.
Yo, what's going on?
With that being said, this is our final one. We're on day 28, right? So this is February 28th. So we're officially on day 28. This will go to Sunday, March 5th. Shout out to my niece, Ava. It'll be her birthday. But anyway, so we will finish out extremely strong. Now, I know, and so before we get into everything here, Angelo suggested at the end of this, he says, where are we going for dinner? But I want to switch that bad boy up. I've been fasting breakfast for 28 days. It'll be 33 days. I want to know where we're going for breakfast.
Oh, man.
My man.
He wants him pancakes.
Yo, he said dinner. I'm like, dinner? I eat dinner every night. I haven't eaten breakfast in over a month.
So you know what I was doing? I did it this weekend. I had breakfast for lunch.
See,
I made a sandwich on like the
long roll.
The long roll. Threw some butter on there with some cheese and ham, and threw some egg in there.
Breakfast is that meal you can have for every meal.
Yeah, kids love it when I do it.
I did it once, and it was delicious, but it wasn't the same.
Because early morning with the coffee. I didn't have coffee with it. I had water with mine.
Well, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a Saturday.
12, yeah.
Yeah, it was on a Saturday. It was banging, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
First of all, I was like starving. And so it was like, I don't even know if I maybe necessarily enjoyed it as much as I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
Just because I was just filling my belly, like I was just so hungry. So sometimes you don't really savor it that much. You're just kind of like chucking it down, you know.
I'm down for whatever, bro. I'm on hour like 50 of a 72-hour fast right now. I'm ready to eat this cigar. like whatever you want to do.
It's a Slim Jim.
So I'm suggesting if we want to do something, I really want to do go to a diner or a restaurant or something. Seriously, I want to do breakfast. I'm about to cry. Like, I just want breakfast.
I just want some pancakes.
I just want to go home. Anyway, so. Let's talk a little bit about each of the topics. So if you're just tuning in, this is our fourth installment of Mission B33, which stands for 33 Days to Living Your Blessed Life. And once this gets released, we will have completed the challenge. So we kind of wanted to record this ahead of time, give you our feedback on where we currently are, and then take it from there. So the top 7, if you're not familiar with the challenge, check out the previous episodes. But anyway, so it is number 1, drink 1 bottle of water upon waking up. Number 2, stretch and or work out for at least 20 minutes, ideally cardio. Number 3, pray/meditate for 10 minutes. Number 4, study/read for 10 minutes. We're reading the book Blessed and Unstoppable by Billy Alsbrooks. Number 5, review/recite affirmations for 3 minutes. Number 6, write one thing you're grateful for. Number 7, intermittent fast for 1 meal, ideally breakfast. Number 8, take a multivitamin/related supplements. And 9, a social media fast. All right. So, if I'm going to go around the horn, think about the entire challenge leading up to today, and then also share how you want to finish the final week, how you want to, how you plan on, finishing strong, going to switch anything up. I think every week we've added something. Somebody added a book. Someone added, they changed up their workout routine. We talked about last week how social media is now almost not a thing anymore. I think once you get past week 2,
I think it's
if you're in it every day, like multiple times a day for hours, I think it took that 2-week period for. I don't even know if it was like that.
cleanse,
It wasn't even that I missed it. It was just that it was a habit. It was just part of my day.
That was part of my day. Yep, it was just a habit.
Yeah.
And my thumb would always go right to where it's at on the
100%.
phone, and I was like, oh.
It's just natural.
So I checked my email like 75,000 times. Hit refresh. I'm like, oh, what new bullcrap they're sending me now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's always all junk, right?
Yeah.
And then I've been catching all the kids' school letters and stuff like that. So I'm like catching up on, because Jess is the one who does like all their school, like the reports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like reading. I'm like, oh, did you see this? She's like, yes, heck, I did see this. I'm like, all right, just making sure I'm checking my email. You know what I mean?
3 weeks late.
Yeah, 3 weeks late. Actually, no, I'm on point now, but yeah, it definitely took the a good week and a half for me for the social media, because like I said, that first week I got caught when I forwarded you guys the thing, sent you guys like the link. I keep saying it, but after that it was like, and then even with Facebook, so I've been in charge of the Facebook for the
podcast.
The podcast.
Yeah.
I literally go on there. I didn't even search on that. I let that just go. Like there's people hitting us up and stuff like that. I just kind of like faded out. I didn't even liking anything. Just put the thing on there and close it.
In, out.
Yeah.
Yo, it's so funny. So we have like a group of friends. So just like group text messaging, we have group, I guess, direct messages on, like us three have one, you know, sending each other like golf stuff and cigars, whatever. Well, there's this one group one that is like highly active, like good friends of ours. So we can get like sidebar text messages, like, when are you coming back online? You're missing X, Y. So it's funny as hell that it's like, it's affecting other people, but when you tell them why, they're like, all right, fine, we'll stop bothering you. Just give us the date. And I'm like, 3/6. I can get on 3/6. 3/5 is my last day. They're like, all right, fair enough. We'll stop tagging you. Because they know, they're like, you're not responding to anything.
Midnight 3/6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to binge right into that Monday, bro.
Yeah, he's got no sleep.
night
Just
long.
like,
Yo, honestly, so that was the easiest thing for me
100.
out of the challenge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a mental thing because I just deleted the app from my phone. I was like, I'm done
It
with
just
it.
makes it easier,
You
right?
get cold turkey, is it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I just see like hundreds. Like I got hundreds of messages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a disaster when I jump back on this
So
bad boy.
I see the same thing too. So on Facebook, I get all the messages for the podcast. So I haven't looked to see all the messages that I have just for my personal account because I haven't switched over yet. It only shows you
Yes. So I'm stuck on the business accounts too. I'm like, I'm not even going
to it. I just
DMs are humming right now.
Yes, big time.
Actually, you know what's crazy? It's almost come to the point where at the end of all this, I'm thinking of deleting my Facebook account.
Yeah.
Like to that point where it was just so much junk and so much trash and overload that I was getting caught up into, and I'm like, I don't use it, I don't see it, I don't care for it. So I just think I'm just gonna keep the Instagram and get rid of the Facebook altogether.
That's why I like Instagram more than Facebook. Less drama, less, you know what I mean?
Like, and that's the thing too, is like people would be posting stuff, you're like, damn, and then you start reading the comments, you're like, damn, yeah, that sucks. Or damn, yeah, this person's being an ass. Like what? Like
right.
You get all caught up into their feelings and you're like, what in the world did I just get myself into? For
next
no
thing you know,
reason?
you're judging somebody you never even
Yeah,
met
and
before.
then even met before. Like,
yeah.
I don't like this dude. Why he say that about him?
Yeah.
For no reason.
I don't like him. He's not my friend.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. I think the next couple, were sort of easy for most. It wasn't easy for me, but as you guys made it seem like it was easy for you. The intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast. So to me, intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast means even though I wake up at 4:45 in the morning, it still means noon. So noon is when I can eat. So I haven't eaten earlier than noon for 28 days. And so it's like, that was brutal for me. But apparently, like, this is like normal for you guys. So talk a little bit about how you made that adjustment or non-adjustment or just living life.
So, I mean, for me, it's like, I always get up, I really don't eat nothing for the most part, unless I'm like, I wake up really hungry for, sometimes like, I'll go out and stop on my way in and get like a pork roll and cheese on a bagel at the bagel shop or whatever. But
yeah, the dude at the bagel shop is definitely missing me. There's no way, bro. I was giving them
Where
business.
is Jimmy? Where is Jimmy?
I was giving them business.
They're going out of business because you were
Yeah, they
there.
are going out of business. So my lunchtime is 11:30. When I'm at work, when I'm in the office, I'm from 11:30 to 12:30 because I'm the early bird there.
Yeah.
So that's when I do my lunch. So and then when I'm at home, it all depends. 12 o'clock, whatever. But it was easy. Like last week, My wife was home, and she had to go drop off some papers or whatever, and she came back with a breakfast sandwich, pork, egg, and cheese. I'm like, I ain't supposed to be eating
She tempted you.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll eat this now, and then won't eat till dinner. So I skipped lunch. So like everything in between, I just skipped it and just kept it moving.
Yep.
So I kind of, and in I felt guilty as all heck doing that, but it was like
Tasted
I still
good,
had
doesn't
to.
it?
Yeah, it was a pork roll, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll with a hash brown in the middle of it.
My man.
That's where
Where are we going for breakfast, yo?
I
That's
don't know
where we're
wherever
going.
you ordered that joint from.
That was from
Yeah,
Bill's Deli.
No,
over
you know who
in
makes
Highland Park.
really good who makes really good breakfast sandwiches? Steyer's Orchard. Breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
Big bad boy. You're gonna pay for it, but it's worth every penny.
You know where else too? Lucky Sevens on the corner of
All day
Falls
long.
Road. Yeah.
All day long.
So what's crazy is that when I used to work on the weekends, my boss would give me money to go stop in there and place an order, and I would call them in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling it. I'm taking all their sandwiches, taking them all the sausage, bacon, the pork roll. Yeah, them joints are husky. And it was like to the point
All
where
their food's good over there.
it was to the point where I'll eat half in the morning, and then by the time lunchtime, I'll eat the other half. It was like that. But so anyway, back to it was like I said, it was fairly easy. Of course, until last week, got tempted, and even like you said, we missed eating breakfast, so I made breakfast for lunch the one day, and that kind of,
Yeah, I
compensated a
think
little bit,
there was, dude, it happens so many times. So like at work, they have certain events. It's literally like breakfast with leaders or breakfast for the new people and whatever. And you're there. You're there and you're smelling like it's like you're sitting inside of a restaurant. Everyone's eating. You're just like talking, trying to play it off. I'm just sipping on my coffee, playing it off, bro. That's a mental mental war. Dude, I'm like, and I'm not fit. So, like, that's even more of a war for me. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, I'm used to just making that, that easy decision. You know, I'm hungry. I work hard enough. I'm hungry. You know, I'm going to reward myself. So, dude, it still is. I still got 5 more days. That's a fight every single day. And so, the weekends, I switch it up. I start my meal at noon, but, like, during the week, I do I was 4 days out of the 5, 21 hours fasting. So like even today, it's like I'm driving home. It's weird though, because some days it hits me hard, some days it doesn't. Like today it's 5:05. I haven't eaten anything since the night before, and I'm good. And I'm just driving in. Kel had dinner ready, rock and roll, boom, boom, and I was good. But then there's other days, bro. I'm struggling to get to noon. I'm like, what is the difference? What the heck is the difference?
It's mental, right? Like you said, it's a mental game because
it could be a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could I know there's times where it's like I'm sitting at work and I'm not thinking about food, but I smelt it. Next, thing you know, my stomach is growling. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What?
That's the dude,
Like I didn't even do nothing. I smelled like somebody had like some fresh oatmeal that came out of the microwave too, and that was fresh. But I smelt it. I'm like, damn, I hear my stomach growling.
But there is something like that. Like, you're not really that hungry. Oh, but you take a bite and you want to devour like the rest of it. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you don't really have like that until you actually like get the little taste of it.
So it happened a couple times though, like when I was around people that were eating breakfast. Then like the second, or maybe third, maybe fourth time, it didn't bother me at all. All of a sudden, I'm just like, I'm mentally, I beat that. I beat that.
Yeah.
And as like you just can keep going. And then I think the other thing too is like it's the 33-day thing. Like let me just get there. So like that's all I can see is like get through
like
the 33.
You see like the finish line.
Yes, like there's that finish line. And like they always say, like even if like on day 34 I had this like big old breakfast or whatever, I'm still gonna go back to the fasting. I'm still gonna go back to the what we're doing here because I just feel better. Like I literally just feel better. It sucks in the beginning to make that adjustment. But I do feel better. Anyway, Ange, talk about you. You're apparently going for 10 days without eating?
10.
He's like, I'm on day 472. Like, dang. He hasn't eaten the whole challenge.
So, no, right now, I haven't ate nothing since Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I woke up, and you were talking about finishing strong. Like, I woke up this week, and I'm like, let's finish strong.
Yeah.
Like, I used to fast for 48, 72 hours all the time every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once a month, I would do it just to... And this week I'm like, let's do it. And like, it's crazy because I'm not crazy as it sounds, like I'm not as hungry as you think I'd be right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about it. Tonight I could go home, could be a whole different story like we were just talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, for
Tomorrow it could be a struggle to get to 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, every
But-
day. Dude.
I think like with me and Miguel, like he don't eat breakfast either, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're coming in the shop and it's smelling like
Yeah.
breakfast
Yeah.
sandwiches
Yeah,
and like
yeah, yeah.
so the temptation.
Pancakes and syrup.
I don't really eat breakfast, so
Yeah.
that was easy for me. But
Yeah.
like there was no temptation.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? You're not
yeah,
coming
yeah,
into work.
true.
There's not. You don't smell food.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that was another easy one for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But besides that, like you feel great. Like I feel mentally right now, like not
Sharp.
eating for 50
Clear.
hours. I'm super clear.
Super clear.
Like,
Yes.
and
Right.
tomorrow will be even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might pass out and work, but
Yeah.
it's all right. You know what I mean? Like,
Mid haircut.
yeah. But like you do feel great. Like mentally, you feel good.
So the most I've ever done was a 3-day fast, and it's interesting because I keep, when I'm struggling to get to noon, I just tap into that experience. I'm like, dude, you fasted for 3 whole days, water fast, and I was like, I did that purposely for this reason because I knew I wanted to like this year challenge myself. So I did that last year, and this year I'm like, I want to get into like a way healthier way of eating. I've done the research, did all this stuff, and. Well, it's like 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting fidgety. Well, like where I'm at right now, everyone's breakfast eaters. So and then they come in at staggered shifts. So someone's coming in at 7 in the morning, someone's coming in at 8, 9, 10, 11, and every person's bringing in a new breakfast thing. So the whole
That's like
morning,
sitting an
all
alcoholic at a
morning,
bar
yes,
and being like,
yeah,
"Yo,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
this is crazy.
You're a
The
hit.
whole morning, bro, and it smells like it smells like heaven.
He ain't got no nails
I'm
though.
just like,
Chewing on the things.
Goose, what about you? Fasting?
Like I said before, it was for me. It was pretty much it was easy because I'm not like a huge breakfast person.
Yeah.
Like only on the weekends, except for like this weekend, I did have breakfast. It was like 11:30.
Yeah.
And it was just like a, I don't know, weekend like, kind of just like slipped. But during the week, it's like my schedule at work. Like I said before, I'm on a schedule, so I have lunch at 12 o'clock some days or at 1 o'clock some days. So that's like I don't have nothing from the night before till then.
Yeah.
So I think like I don't know. I've never, like I said, I was never. But again, I've never been. I'm not like I don't work in an environment that you do.
Yeah.
So the temptation's not there. I don't walk by a cafeteria. Like I have to make the attempt or make it myself.
Yeah, that's
for breakfast.
tough.
So yeah. But
I
if
commend that,
if it's
like-
around me, yeah, I guess. I mean,
And we're
so it's like-
opposite. So dinner's not around me. Like
Yeah, and when you walk outside of here,
at here, all you
you
see
smell
is
it.
dinner.
Yeah,
right? So it's
it's
almost
yeah.
like a flip flop.
So it's but we also have like people come here like Saturday mornings, guys that run Dunkin' Donuts. They bring a box of donuts and stuff,
Right,
and,
right.
and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You're like, okay, like, I mean, but that stuff is like I said, it's pretty easy because I'm not like a junk food eater, but
Yeah.
the temptation can be there.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a fleeting thought too.
Yeah.
Like it only lasts for that temptation only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
And if you actually, if you study hunger, like what your body is telling you, there are stages where you truly think you're hungry, you're really not. You're either thirsty or tired or
Bored.
something else. Yeah, it could be a bunch of things. So, the mentality is like, especially in America, it's when we eat, it's a way of life. When someone says, "Yo, I'm gonna break bread with this person," it's like we have conversation and we talk over it and we whatever. It's like it's a lifestyle thing. It's a culture thing. It's very different. Where there's some cultures where they literally eat just for the energy, and they don't think anything of it. They're just eating scraps fast as heck or whatever, and boom, just keep it moving. Like, we make like an ordeal. It's lunchtime. Like we make a big ordeal about it. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about meditation. So, same thing. Just go around the horn. Gabe, I guess we'll talk with you. 10 minutes of meditation. How's that gone? Were you able to hit every single day? Did you miss some days? What was the process like? Did you go longer, shorter?
So yeah, that's been pretty consistent. Like I've kept up with that. Like I've kept it at the end of the day, after reading the book, whatever. The weekends I've kind of done a little more, like I said, in the morning.
Nice.
So, but the weekdays I've kept it at after work, after dinner, and all that stuff too. To kind of keep that as like the night, not the nightcap, but like the end cap of like that whole situation.
Yeah. Heck, what about you?
Yeah, it's to me it's like a routine. Every morning when I wake up, I'll get up, chug the water, and as I'm making the coffee or whatever, get myself situated, I'm just standing there in the kitchen and I'll just start praying, and to me it's like a routine thing that's been going on for so long now that it's like, to me that was another automatic natural thing. I'm like, I got this because it's part of what I do every morning, you know what I mean? So, and then there's times where it's been longer than the 10 minutes and stuff like that. Just sometimes in the shower, I'm just like, oh, dang, it's time to get out of the shower now. Like, you get lost in the sauce in there.
All wrinkly.
But, all wrinkly and everything. I gotta get to work. But it's never missed a beat. That one's every day without a skip.
Yeah. Ange?
Same for me. Like, prayer is like such a big part of my life. Like, I would like to hone in on the meditation part. Like, that's something I'm going to start once this challenge is over, is that meditation. But the one thing I did add, like, I pray day and night, but the one thing I did add in a week, like, I go to mass every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go to confession and I go to mass. You know what I mean? So I did add that once a week, which is great. Like, I love it. Like, that's my time. Like, I don't go with anybody. I know, like, I brought a buddy of mine with me once or twice, but besides that, like, I go by myself. That's my time. Yeah. That's meditation in itself. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
I love that, and that was a huge motivation doing this challenge to add that to my, you know what I mean, routine.
I love it. Goose?
Yeah, so for me, like, that's the first thing I do. As soon as I open up my eyes, it's like the first thing. I don't even open up my eyes. I just like get up and that's like the first thing I do. I don't know. I just think that was like us growing up going to church. That was like instilled in our head. Like as soon as you wake up, just pray, get on your knees. I mean, obviously throughout the day too, or before you go to bed. But like that was like my first thing before you do anything. Pray or like so. I think that's just before. Then I get up, stretch a little, like then I go drink my water, take my vitamins, then I do like my little stretches and stuff.
Couple cartwheels.
And then I take a shower, start my day. But like before I do anything, meditation, like prayer. And then like I said, sometimes like when I'm in here, I'll have someone cancel, or I have like a half-hour break, like an appointment is not showing up, or a point or a gap. I'll just sit there, like lay down, rock the chair back, and just close my eyes. Just my mind is like out of the barbershop, like really. Yeah. Sometimes I like snap out of it. Like I kind of get up, and like I'm like at work, like, but
you're sleeping.
I was snoring. But everything just fades away. But yeah, it was pretty routine for me, easy.
Yeah, I think there's to Ange's point, like the difference between meditation and prayer, right? So same thing, like I would wake up in the morning and pray. And I think throughout the day, it's just ingrained in me, to Goose's points, is like how we were raised. I feel like I'm praying like 75 to 95% of my day. Talking to God. Mm-hmm. I feel like I really do. I feel like I'm in like consultation all day. Mm-hmm. Just praying over just wisdom and discernment, really allowing me to make the best decisions and make me see things that I wouldn't see, you know what I mean? Just a guidance, protection, just those same things, just routinely, and then gratitude, just being grateful for those things. But I would try to, I would split the prayer to meditation. I would meditate on a topic or a subject, and I knew what was probably going to give me my biggest struggle, or just challenge, not even struggle, just challenge, during the day. And I would try to focus on that and maybe produce possible solutions on how, I can, resolve or get through it or navigate through it the right way. And so I think I'm making a better separation of the two, where prayer, it's more of like praying with, to God, where the meditation, I'm thinking something through, which is two different things. And so anyway, that has really been like I think one of the game changers for me. To be honest with you, because I do that as soon as I wake up. That's 20 minutes right off the rip. Same thing. I wanted to double my time, because I'm like, sometimes I might start off as prayer, and then while I'm praying, I'll think about that one topic that I want to meditate on, and then bang, it turns into meditation. But But to getting up startled, I have everything on a timer. So I make sure I'm doing the actual time, because we say this all the time when we're doing the challenge before. I'm like, oh, I worked out for 20 minutes. You really worked out for about 7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you didn't really work out for 20 minutes. And you can tell when someone's like, I worked out for 20 minutes a day, or you can tell there's like a difference. You could look at them. You could just tell the way they're operating is clearer. The way they talk is much clearer, right? But it's the same thing. It's like, you don't realize, I think we think we're doing that stuff. Or you think you're reading for 30 minutes and you read like 2.5 pages 4 times, you know what I'm saying? Because you weren't even paying attention.
Right.
And you're thinking about something else, you know what I mean? You're sitting there reading that one sentence talking about like what you're about to order for dinner. Like the whole time you're reading that same sentence. I'm like, oh man, I think I'll go with double cheesesteak, extra cheese. You know what I mean? You're thinking
Pork roll, egg, and
crazy.
cheese with a hash brown in the middle.
There you go.
Goose, were you going to say something?
No, just I forgot what I was gonna say at first, but you were saying like with the go read, and that happened to me yesterday. I'm like, took Ava her lesson. I'm reading. I get a phone call, so then it was like, whatever. It's like making arrangements for the weekend, whatever. So then I go back to reading, and my mind just started going to what that phone call was all about, like trying to adjust my day, and my focus wasn't on the reading. It just like threw me off, like right in the.
You're looking at the words. But
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm trying my hardest, and my mind was just going. I'm like, holy smokes! But yeah, I was just throwing that distraction in there. As you were saying with the reading.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So let's talk about a little about. Let's put them all together, where it's recite like a review affirmations. I don't know why, but for some reason. On mine, like I have handwritten on my checklist thing, I have goals. So every time I write one thing you're grateful for, I put /goals. For some reason, I don't have it on this, but that's what I was doing. But let's talk a little about like you guys. Did you guys use your own affirmations? I know I sent everyone like the blessed affirmations. How do you go, dude? When I know when the middle is because you hit like. I am healthy and wealthy physically. Yeah, like that. I'm like, all right, we're halfway there. Come on, keep going. It's so funny.
But I like the way you reorganized it for this time around.
Yeah,
I don't think we really talked about it, but it was like
no. Yeah, so go ahead.
When we redid it, it was like before it was like not like a jumble, but it was like just a giant list. But now it's like the way you organize it. There's actual flow to it.
Yes. So you start thinking about it, you're like, okay, I am love, I am loved.
Yeah, it was almost like a song, like a riddle or something.
Yeah. Like follow through, whatever.
And that's
so Ains never got to see the original one.
Yeah.
So if you see the original one, you'll like, all right, he added a few extra things.
You copy. It's like the third. I think it might officially. I think it's like the third reiteration of what the list of affirmations were. What's crazy is I start off with like a quarter of that list. That goes back at least from 2006. Legit.
Just adding to it.
Just adding to it, and then just taking out and replacing, adding to it, taking out, replacing. And then if you notice, there is like a science to the repetitiveness. So you repeat because of what you're saying when we read. When we read, sometimes we're reading a sentence and we didn't really catch on to it. So if you're saying is like, I am healthy and wealthy mentally, I am healthy and wealthy spiritually. If you didn't catch it the first time or the second, you're definitely going to catch it on the third.
One,
And there's
like
science
at this point,
to the
you should
numbers.
be able to recite that in our sleep.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
For sure. So, so what about like writing down, something that you're grateful for? How did that go? Did that work? Did that not work?
It was kind of like, it felt like you had to like not restart, but you felt like you couldn't just start back at, at least for all of us, we couldn't start back at zero because we did a version of it before. Yeah. But it was like, something like I said before, it was like toward the end of it, something you really had to think about and kind of like really like pull and like get some legit answers, if that makes sense. Not just like, oh, I'm throwing something out there.
The problem, so the thing is with writing something down and writing something different is like, we're so, with the technology that we currently have and everything that we currently go through, we end up being superficial. We end up just being like, what's easy, what's faster. We're just talking about, some other technology that just came out and just makes things easier. And we're talking about when the microwave and the toaster, we weren't alive when they first came out, but luxury to some degree is to make life easier. You know what I mean? So
like the VHS rewinder. Remember when that thing came out?
Oh. We had the joint that was like the shape of a Corvette. Put that joint in the hood. But anyway, so
pop the hood up.
That's dope.
So I think like when this forced you to like think a little bit deeper. We're so like not in a negative way. We just the way of life is right now. If you don't force yourself, it's easy to be superficial.
But it kind of coincided with like meditation stuff too, because it made you really think about like what you're really truly grateful for.
Yeah.
Like pick something to actually write down.
Yeah, and I remember like, I don't know why I didn't write that in here, but I did it myself. I wrote my goals every single day. Yeah. But writing the thing I'm grateful, dude, I paused because my goals are the same. And I made a few adjustments here and there, but for the most part, I've been the same. When I get to the I am grateful, dude, I literally pause. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I'm like forcing myself to think deep, forcing myself and like not cheating, like not wanting the easy answer. I'm like, no, like think about something good today.
Yeah, because like the
Today's
first week or so is like easy. It's like it's coming off like boom, boom, boom. Then all of a sudden you're like,
my wife, my house.
yeah, you gotta start. It comes off the rip, but then after that, 10 days in, you're like, all right, now like a little bit more deep.
Thanks God for the doorknobs. This dude saying anything.
I am grateful for my zippers.
I'm grateful for this gratitude list.
Thank you for this pen that I could write this with. But it's true. And then like, there's a couple things that hit me. Because the other thing too is like sometimes you get caught up in your own life, your own hustle and bustle, and like you could like move up in life a little bit for little things here and there, and then you'll pass by somebody whose car broke down on the highway. I'm like, woo, dude, that thing hit me heavy. So I broke down a bunch of times, in my life or whatever, and you realize like, oh my gosh, dude, the car's good, I'm safe. I'm like looking at this car, I'm like, dude, that car was bound to either fly off the rails or at some point it just looked like the wheels were wobbling and everything. I'm like, dang. I remember being there though, right?
Yeah.
And like, dang, just what a headache. And then like, dang, I gotta call the tow guy. I gotta do this. I gotta call the insurance. I gotta figure all this out. I gotta pay for all this, right? And you're like, yo, and another ones I saw a dude get pulled over. I'm like, yo, thank God it wasn't me, right? Like, and I'm doing speed limit, but I'm still like, somehow you know every once in a while you can slip up. You just when you're driving, especially if you're driving with somewhere you go every single day, you sort of like you're paying attention, but your mind can like float around like, oh yeah, what are we doing for lunch today? But you know what I mean? And you say, oh Henry, and you just keep going, right? Henry. Another thing was like I saw a tree down, like just missed the car. And I remember thinking, like I didn't see it happen, but you could see where the trees landed, and the car, like the branches were on the car, but like the big old trunk didn't like smash it. Yeah. And I remember thinking, like, dude, that person has to wake up. Like they can't move the car. Like the tree has to get moved. Yeah. They're stuck. And I'm thinking, like, well, there goes their day if they have to take that car. You know what I mean? Like
that's
it
like
didn't
their only
happen
car.
to me. So I'm like grateful. I'm like, dude, thank God I was able to like pull out of my driveway today and get straight to where I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like with me, I go into the state of New Jersey. So on my way in, I see panhandlers, and I'm like, thank God I have a job. I'm driving in. I'm going into my job, and I see them, and they just have a sign. Like, I'm glad I have that ambition that I want to go for work. I want to go do work or go to work. Like, and they could have the same thing too, but it's also a choice. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it stinks. Like you see them, and it just makes you appreciate a lot of life. Like you don't know their situation, but you don't know if they have family members that they have kids or something like that. And it's just like I sit back and think about it. I'm like, dude, I'm driving into work. I got a nice car. I got nice clothes on. Like I'm thankful for all of this, and it's every single day I see it. And I'm like, it breaks my heart. And in the beginning, I was like that dude. I was like I'll pack my lunch and I'll give them my sandwich, and I was like, I'll go buy another one. It's nothing. Like it's fine. But it's like, all right, dude. Like, is there a different? And then so the people started changing. So every week is like a whole different. I'm like, where the heck this guy come from? But it's just like another level of appreciation that like what you have, appreciate it and don't take advantage of it, and just you know what I mean. Take it and embrace everything that you have right in front of you, because it gets crazy, especially out there like that, looking at people like that. It stinks. I remember one time I was driving and it gets stuck in my head because of Jim. He said, so anyway, I saw, I guess, a less fortunate person, like a homeless guy, I want to say it was, and I'm driving, and I was like, dang, that sucks. And Lainey was in the front seat with me, and she goes, what? And I said, nothing. Like, I didn't want to bring it to attention, and then this dude told me, he's like, dude, you want to let them know that so that you show them appreciation and what they have in life and stuff like that. So ever since that, it got stuck in my head, and I always tell, like, when I see something, I'm like, look, guys, appreciate what you got, because there's a lot of times, like, there's a lot of kids that don't have what you guys have. You guys should admire what your parents can do for you now, because so I'm like trying to show them and teach them appreciation and love the stuff that you have. Like, it's just embrace that, all that. You know what I mean?
So I know for me, like if I see somebody pulled over on the side of the road, if I see somebody broke down, immediately I pray for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you
Exactly.
said, I remember being there.
Yes.
Like, and I remember what it feels, and automatically it brings you back to that feeling. Like obviously, if I got the time, all depending on the day. If somebody's broke down, I'll do my best to try to help them. But if not, I'm definitely going to pray for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Oh,
like,
that's. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, because you just said something that reminded me. I was arguing, not an arguing, but I had a disagreement with somebody who has a lot more power than I have, and I remember thinking like, yo, I feel like he tried to sun me, and I'm like, dude, and I got frustrated because I know I was right what I was doing and what I was saying, and I stopped and I prayed for him. And I remember thinking like, dude, that's maturity. Like, that's a wise move. And I remember breaking that scenario down, and it like panned out into nothing, and everything just like, we're good with it. But that is like one of the newer things that I've been trying to focus on is when someone did me wrong or did me dirty, I'm going to pray for them.
Yeah.
Because there's something definitely trippy going on with them, and you don't know what they're going
and like
through.
an eye for an eye would lead the world blind.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
can't be
I'm
what
like,
you
and what am I
despise,
doing?
you know what I
And then
mean?
what am I doing? Dude, how many times? Same thing with like people with road rage. I remember I used to get all bent out of shape
Yeah, I
when I
was just
first
about
got
to
my
touch on
license.
that, yeah.
People like cut me off. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna zoom up even faster or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, and this was years ago. I haven't been like this in years, but I remember like, because I had to go up and down 95 all the time to visit Kel. So I'm like going through Philly, coming back, and you encountered like the craziest situations. You're like, how did I even get here? Dude, like my car, waking up, my car's all smashed in. No one stopped, left a note, nothing. I'm like, dude, you start to become jaded. You know what I mean? So now you start to become like a little angry with
Bitter.
the car situation. Yeah. And so like, yeah, you ain't cut me off, I'm gonna cut you off. This dude and I remember driving home, my car smashed in. Like that night, it just happened. And then some dude, I'm on 95 getting cut off. And like, and then I remember thinking like, for what? I just risked my whole life for that?
Jeopardize.
For some dude I don't even freaking know, and I don't even know what the hell
Never
he's
seen
even
him?
going
Yeah.
through. I don't know if he's like has an anger issue and could take this to a whole other level and could escalate for no reason. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. We ain't need to be doing all this.
Yeah.
All wound up, and I get it. Yes, I'm gonna be upset because my car got smashed and it was a hit and run, and somebody did me dirty on that sense. At that point, like if that happened to me now, God, I'm not asking for any of this, but what I'm saying is I'm gonna pray for the person who hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not only that, you could be resenting that guy. You know what I mean? And nobody feels resentment but you.
Yeah.
Like, he don't
He
going
don't even
home.
know. He
He's
kept
not
it
even
moving.
thinking about it, and all
Yeah.
night it's
No
eating you up.
idea.
You're losing
Yeah.
sleep over
It's
it.
just
Yeah.
not a
You
good
know what I mean?
move.
So it harms you more than
anything
anybody else.
Yeah. So that's like me.
Doesn't make it easy.
Like with driving, like you were saying, touching on that. If I take 13 all the way to get into Jersey, Route 1 or whatever. So if someone's behind me, they're like on my tail, I move over and I always say, I hope you get there safely. I hope you get there safe. And I just like say like a quick prayer and like whatever, like keep them going, because again, I used to do the same thing. Right? I'm like, I'm gonna speed up or I'm gonna slam my brakes, and like for what? Cause more aggravation, more commotion.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not the one in the rush. Let me pull over.
Exactly.
Let them go and keep it moving. And that's what I'll do, because I'm always on the fast lane. If I have to pull off, I'll pull off to the other lane.
Trying to prove a point no one's gonna get anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Even
100
if you did cut him off, back off. Like there's no scoreboard anywhere. Like no one even saw that.
And the best part is when you leave a spot and they're like rushing to get somewhere, and next thing you know, both of you at the traffic lights. Like, puppy, what happened? Like,
But not only that, like how many times have we been in that position where we were in a rush to go somewhere? You don't even mean to be riding their bumper,
Yeah,
but it's just,
exactly.
you know
But
what
it's
I mean?
you don't even know
yeah,
the intention.
It's
yeah.
just, you know.
You don't even know.
yeah.
So it's just that awareness, like you don't even know what somebody else is going through. Like,
Yeah.
let me, like you said, let me pull over and help them out.
Yeah, hopefully they get there safe and whatever it is they're going through.
But back to the gratitude list, that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, you had to dig deep, and I really had to feel like I can go into my notes. I would do it in my notes every day. I write, I am grateful for.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
can go
got
into my
them
notes right
in my
now.
notes.
Like one of my notes would be like, I'm grateful for Miguel cutting my hair every Friday on his lunch break.
Absolutely.
Like I would have to sit there and
sure.
actually have to dig. Like,
For sure.
Of course, I'm grateful for it at all times, but like. I had to feel it to
That
put it down.
recognition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to actually feel it. You know what I mean? To write it down. in my
Yes.
notes, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm grateful for
Just running
this
through it.
job. Like,
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm grateful for that every day. But what am I grateful for right? What can I feel right now?
Like for that
You know what I
moment.
mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. All right. So what about, now I know this one was sort of like, I think we're 50-50 on this with the multivitamin and related subs.
I was about to say I got to order because that's one of my goals is to continue it after
Yeah.
this. I want to keep up with the multivitamin, so I'm like down to. But it was only a 30-day pack, and we're doing
couple days
33 days, so I gotta re-up on mine.
Heck, all out of Fred Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah, my friend Flintstone Barney was my last one. And this one.
Ate all the red ones first.
Yeah, they were all that.
So part of this challenge, the difference between this challenge and the last one was the last one we did the reading, but we weren't reading the same material. This one we're all reading Blessed and Unstoppable by Dr. Billy Ellis Brooks. What do you guys like? What do you dislike about the book thus far? I know it looks like we're on page 160 something.
Yeah.
Anything? It's almost pretty much done. Not much left. Oh, that's right, because it goes to 31 days.
Yeah,
That's
so I
right.
just noticed that today
I'm like,
when I was
oh,
reading
dang,
it.
that's right. Anyway, around the horn again. Goose, we'll start with you.
No, well, for me, this was one of my the hardest things for me that kind of overcomes to stay consistent and with the reading. Like I said, there's a couple of days where I messed up, so I had to do some catching up. I know Heck did the same thing, but this actually specific book, this actual specific book I like because it's like, dude, it's kind of like I said, going back to like us growing up with like. He has like Bible verses, and it's like showing you like your how we should live, and some of the stuff is what we heard, but now it's like it's reiterating in my mind. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the chapter, it has like their affirmation, their Bible verse affirmations. Like it has like everything. So you're pretty much repeating all this stuff multiple times a day. Yeah. So like I actually do like this specific book. I didn't, like I said, I'm not a reader, so and I think the problem is I don't like. I do like reading this. I didn't know what I like to read. You know what I mean, I'm reading like first of all, I'm probably reading junk or like reading some novelty stuff. That's like some I don't know, but like actually reading stuff that makes sense and is like effective for daily living, lifestyle. I think this is like the best. Obviously, the best book I've so far read in like a while.
Hell yeah. Gabe, what do you think?
Yeah, so like I think I had a similar thing. It was like I used to read because obviously when we first started like previous things like we did. I was part of like the routine, whatever. But it was like you just fall off for a while and it's just kind of like getting back into it. But it's like the same thing. It's like finding something you actually enjoy reading.
Yeah.
And this was
And
definitely
understanding
that.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was definitely like it was a good easy read and it was something to easily get into.
Yeah.
And you actually look forward to because it was like a
well, because you know
read.
you're not going to be overwhelmed with the content.
Yes.
It's going
Right.
to be just about right. Because you can literally get it in under 10 minutes.
Under 10 minutes.
Because sometimes you can pick a good book, but it's like dense as I don't know what. So it's like it's not the easiest thing to get into.
So one of the things, right? So the back of the book actually has a picture of the author. So like I'm visioning this dude's like our age, kind of, right? Our age bracket. So I'm thinking him like saying it, like talk to me like one of my buddies.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like I just put that vision on that, like this dude's speaking to me in a way, and like
like
it's-
more relatable.
Yeah, exactly.
Ange, what do you think about the book?
I love the book. So this part of the challenge, like this, I had my most God moments when it came to like spirit, like the most, like you get chills. Like I don't know if we talked about it, but like how you said the author like hit you up and and he sent you Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, and I got that tattooed on me. Like I live my life by that. Like so that gave me chills. And I remember the other night I was reading. I don't know if it was your inner circle, what chapter it was, but it's I do the questions. I don't know if you guys do the questions at the end. Like I write them out. Like I fill out the answer. And I think one was like, what's an inspirational movie? And I wrote Rocky. And not so much on the movie, just how it was made and the story behind what went on, like if anybody knows how Rocky was made. And then I turned the page over to the quote, and it quotes Rocky Balboa. Right? I was like, this is
day
crazy.
25. Day
Yeah,
25. Build a strong inner circle.
Yeah, no such thing as coincidences. You know what I mean? And like, the best part of doing this thing with a group of people is like, I learned from like Heck and Miguel, like, I would hear Heck come in on the one podcast and say, listen, I was behind 3 or 4 days, so I'd have to catch up in one day. And Miguel would say the same thing. So, like, I actually didn't miss a day on this book so far. You know what I mean? Like, just because I probably would have, but just because what they said and learning from their experience. That's why I love doing a thing with, like, a group of people. Because you can, that's
you
learning
learn.
from each other.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So, but yeah, the book was also one of my favorite
I've recommended I've recommended this book to without exaggerating my number, like 4 or 5 legit people in conversation in the past, whatever, 28 days. I don't know if I've ever talked about, outside of like The Bible and the Power, the book The Power by Rhonda Burns. I don't know if I've ever talked about a book so much. And I don't know if it's because I'm in it, like I'm so invested in it. It's like, my boys are reading it too, man. This is fantastic. We're all getting this content. And then like he hits you up with these most basic titles, like Conquer the Nail. And it's like concepts you know. Yeah. It's concepts you can relate to. It's concepts you actually understand. But what this book is doing is reminding you about it because you forgot or you might have slipped up on something. You know what I mean? So
that's what I liked about the book. Is a lot of reminder and a lot of things that I didn't know, like or didn't understand. Like he brings it right around and I guess in a sense to dumb it down to make it make sense for me. Simplifies it. Yeah, it's definitely a great book. Like again, like Goose and Gabe were saying, I don't really get excited to read, but there's something about this book. I'm like, dang, I really want to get into it. Like, especially like when I'm sitting in that's when I get ready. Like my mind is set for work. So like, it's like one of those things like, yo, I got in my book bag, my work bag, pull that bad boy out. And it's like, and even when I'm at home, like I'll get a minute. If it's kind of like, slow down or whatever, or take a 15-minute break and I'll just sit at the table. My laptop's there watching stuff and I'll just get my, get the book, get the read on. So to me, I feel like it's something that I've regimented into work, and I want to find another book that's similar to that to continue on reading because this is my first chapter book I ever finished.
Chapter book. So I think it's dope. Billy Osbrooks intertwines the Bible within his writings, and it's like, you know what I like about it? It's not aggressive. It's just like it's lightly and appropriately intertwined, where it's not like all up in your face. Like, dude, relax, dude. Yeah, it's just right.
And it's just funny that it combines everything we were doing anyway into like a written form that we kind of just as part of our routine at this point for the past month.
I like that he puts like whatever the subject is that he talks about the prayer. And it's telling you how to pray for that, like how to receive that or how to go about it and stuff like that. Like I always look forward to reading a prayer that about the subject that he write about.
So he starts it off with the title, a Bible verse. He talks about it. He puts out a positive affirmation, then the self-assessment questions, today's prayer, then success quotes, then your action steps, and then inspiration for victory. Every chapter is broken down exactly the same, and when he breaks down, for example, day 23, Conquer the Nail, everything's on that subject matter, right? Conquer the Nail, like we did on every other episode. I'm just gonna run through the titles for this week. Day 24, Exercise Your Authority. This is fantastic. I got a whole paragraph circled, so I'm just gonna read it. You have been granted through grace the power and authority to accomplish your divine assessment. God has empowered and anointed you to excel. He has placed the seeds of greatness inside of you, and with this anointing, all things are possible. Once you become fully awakened to this omnipotent power and where it resides, you will become unstoppable. Day 25, build a strong inner circle, which we constantly talk about. Day 26, refuse to concede. Day 27, take the limits off of God. Day 28, which was today, learn the art of communication.
That was a strong one.
I got circled. The level of life that you experience will be determined by the quality and depth of the interactions you have. Yeah. Yo, homie did hit you with the heavy stuff too. Like he somehow, like to Heck's point, like he simplified things, but then at the same time he intertwined some heavy. Yeah. Like you're like, my man.
It was like the first line too.
It comes in strong. So like the other.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
So the other day, don't limit God or whatever. Take the limits off of God. Yeah. I didn't understand it when I read it, and then I was reading it and understood it, and then I was driving home. And Joel Osteen was talking about the same thing. I'm like, wow, how coincidental is that? He's talking about the same thing. Like, take the limits off of him. Like, let him. Don't limit yourself to him, or don't limit anything that's coming from him. Just like receive it. I'm like, oh man, how crazy is that? Like, read it in a book, and I'm hearing it on the radio. Like, Dude, let it go. Just let it go.
So the rest, since there's only EA's 31, we're at tomorrow's 29. I'll just read them. Align with gratitude, 29, 30, become a prayer warrior, 30, and 31, impact lives daily. And anyway, so then after that, once that comes, it comes self-awareness workbook. Anyway, this is going to be my 5th and final time. I'm going to recommend Blessed and Unstoppable by Dr. Billy Ells Brooks, Your Blueprint for Success. This reading is fantastic. The book looks, like your average, I guess, girth on whatever. It's a 230 page, but I'm telling you, you can run through this thing. You're like, dude, I'm on buck 175. Like, we're doing this. Like, we ran through that like in a month, and the shortest month of the year.
Well, let's take a minute to acknowledge like the behind the scenes work he had to do on this book. Like, it's so simple, but then you turn the page and he got 20 quotes that refer to that title. Like, he had to do a lot of research for this book. Like, it wasn't just, it looked simple reading it, but he put some work into this book.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
There's an art to simplicity, though. If you think about, like, you can think of, like, the craziest artwork, but then at the same time look at abstract art like Picasso. And you're looking at him like, dude, this guy got 5 colors on here and a bunch of shapes mushed together. Right? But you're like, yeah, but it's not as simple as that, right? Yeah. And then because at first sight it looks simple, and then you can start breaking the thing down. I think it's that. This is like a Picasso. Like, at first sight, you could say, yo, that was an easy read. But if you, like, really reading, if you're looking in depth, and that's what I'm saying, like, thinking a little bit heavier, thinking a little bit deeper into things, you can take this, it's like, like the Bible. I'm not comparing this to the Bible, but I'm saying, like the Bible, the more you read it, the more you find, or the more, more wisdom pops up at you. And it's because you've grown in a different... You've advanced, so now you're reading and your thinking is in a more advanced way. All right, so one final round about the challenge. Maybe any final words on it, or maybe anything you would like to add if you ever did this challenge in the future, or want some of the things that you may continue, some things you probably won't continue, whatever. That's just final thoughts. We'll start with you, Heck.
So I'm gonna go with continuing. So like I said, I'm definitely going to continue with the multivitamins. The working out, I'm going to definitely keep it going. And I'm not working out. I'm like literally making my way, taking walks, and just trying to keep myself
active lifestyle,
active, and just like stretching and stuff like that. Social media, like I told you guys earlier, like I'm really contemplating on getting rid of one of my social media accounts. I really don't need it, and I realized that it was like a lot of waste of my time. And I want to try to continue reading something, whether it be like a daily thing or reading something, like have a sit down and just read for like a good hour. So like I just want to continue on with that, just building that up just for my own self. So, I mean, doing this challenge makes you realize that like there's a lot of things that you can do and you don't know unless you give it a try or do it. Sure. That you won't ever push yourself to that limit. So this is actually pushing myself to newer, like further things that I've never done before, like to continue to make it as a regular habit for myself, daily habit.
Ange?
I think, like Heck said, like I'm going to continue to do a majority of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it definitely, this challenge showed me how to dig deep. Like I think it was last week or the week before, I was sick all week. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a struggle just coming to work, but you know what? I made sure I made it to the gym every day, no matter what. Like sick and all, like I still got it done. Like I didn't want to miss it. Yeah. So just to give it, relit that drive for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And I definitely want to say thank you. I appreciate. Definitely grateful for having me on this and making me a part of. It was a great time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Goose?
Yeah, I mean, with it definitely made me like be accountable of a lot of things, you know. So like being like I'm not doing this on my own. I'm like cheating myself out over certain things and cutting stuff. I'm like, dude, we're all doing this together. I'm like, I can't like leave my guys behind. I gotta keep up with them. So I gotta keep up with the reading and like.
See my tan hand every morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss it.
So I'm gonna miss my alarm clock in the mornings at 5:30. But no, like yes, and obviously keep going with everything I could possibly like kind of keep going up on with, like as far as staying the healthy part, like the physical part, and then definitely try to keep the whole reading. So there's volume 1, so I'm sure there's other volumes to follow this thing. this
Dr.
book.
Billy Osbrooks, let us know. I don't know.
So yeah, no, I'm just saying because it says it. So yeah, but
He might have been speaking this into existence. He might have no other volumes past. I don't know. He might have 40. I don't know.
yeah, but
It's the only volume you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's only one volume.
But yeah, no, and this was definitely an awesome challenge, and I'm sure we have other challenges to go on in the future. But yeah, this one was definitely like I said, this is our second one. The first one was kind of hard for me. I was just all over the place, and this one we kind of cleaned it up and organized it up a little bit better.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was very, for me, successful.
Gabe?
So it seemed like, kind of like to your point now, it's like it seems like it was a refinement of what we did before.
Yeah.
Because I felt like now I found the book I can actually like to read and look forward to. And
I do. I really. It's so funny because I genuinely look forward. Like, there's some of the stuff. There's subject matter that you guys know. I'm a reader, and I can read. But there's something different about this. This is like there's a select few books that I've genuinely looked forward to reading.
Yeah.
And also with the working out, like before, like I said, I did it like more in the afternoon, whatever. But like I found like I like doing it first thing in the morning. Even doesn't have to be like a crazy 45-minute workout.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was like I like doing something first thing in the morning, getting most of it out of the way, and then like kind of like if I want to add something later on, then that's the addition to it. And like I said, doing like more little bits of activeness throughout the day. But it's like I like the kickstart of all that, getting most of it out of the way and capping it off with some good motivation at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I think the to Andrew's point, man, dude, it might have been this morning or yesterday morning, where I was gonna try to pull like a lazy ass stretch and like watch TV at the same time. Like, yeah, I'm doing my 20 minutes, And I caught myself. I was in my living room just laughing out loud by myself. So I got up, got changed, and jumped on the treadmill. But like, even though I was not feeling it, but dude, afterwards, I can't say that I was feeling like $1,000,000, but I definitely felt better. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And it's like all those moments are just moments of growth. Yeah. Just moments of just at that same point, like something so went from so serious to then me just laughing at myself. And it's like that's part of the enjoyment of this too, is that you have to have the ability to laugh at yourself and not to take yourself so serious. But at the same time, there's a part of this that you have to somewhat be like militant about. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just not effective, and you're not gonna get things done. And then you just allow things to happen, and now it's just soft. And it's like that's the thing. It's like you want to push all the softness to the side. I think there's a time to apply that. I'm also not of the school of thought where people like, be 100% hardcore at all times. It's just not. That's not what humans are built on. I do believe that the majority of your well-being probably should be, dominant and not weak. But at the same time, I think you navigating through your emotions of the day and just correcting it. It's like we love to we have pets or whatever, and the dog, water and dog food. Gotta go for a walk. It's funny how we can apply those because that's the right thing to do, but you don't even do it yourself, right? You do it for your dog or pets or whatnot, and they only drinking water. They're not drinking Hawaiian Punch and Coca-Cola and all this other jazz. No, they're literally drinking water and this food that literally has nutrients and their multivitamins within it, right? Right. And then you're like, gotta go for a walk. Why? Because the digestive tract, that needs to happen. But it's like all healthy. It's all health related for them. Sure. And for ourselves, we're sitting there eating popcorn at midnight, watching sports, like what in the hell are we doing? And that's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's the stuff I want to hone in and dial in on. Just you can, and the soft version of yourself is going to talk the person that you're trying to become out of whatever you're about to do. You could easily talk. Dude, it was snowing this morning. It was freezing cold. I did not have to jump on that treadmill, but I knew it was like, it's like the man on a mission type of thing. I'm on mission B33. This is what we're doing. I committed to this. And it goes back to, I'm going to tap into this challenge years later, just like I was talking about the fasting. That was something I did a year ago, and I still tap into that. I tapped into it every single day doing this challenge. I still had to refine myself until it becomes a habit. You're just trying to become a better version of yourself. That's literally all this is. One step at a time, and you're doing with a group of guys who want to improve themselves. So this was a fantastic I thought it was a fantastic challenge. Great results. I want to thank you all for being a part of it. I'm probably going to come out with more material on it. I'm still going to fine-tune things just like I was fine-tuning affirmations. I'm going to fine-tune probably workouts and add several things. Oh, that was one thing. Last week I said I was going to add workouts. I did add workouts. So I was still doing my 20-minute whatever cardio in the morning, but then I started adding in, with the dumbbells and stuff like that. So I think it was like 3 out of the 7 days I did. It wasn't like every day, but had the ability to add something. So anyway, things like that, just dial in and what works for you and your lifestyle. Like the cool part about this is like every single one of us have a totally different lifestyle, totally different like way of life. The only other 2 people that have similar jobs obviously is Goose and And, but even outside of that, 2 totally different people, 2 totally, ways that they operate. So you have to make it fit you and your lifestyle, but at the same time, challenge yourself enough that you're becoming a better version of yourself. All right, we like to wrap things up with quotes, and the first one is by Esther Hicks. Appreciation is the purest vibration that exists on the planet today. Appreciation is the purest vibration that exists on the planet today. Second one by Ross Simmonds. Greatness only comes before hustle in the dictionary. Mission B33, Part 4. In this episode series, aka final installment, the crew's taking on a new challenge. We cover topics that range from updates for week 4, ups and downs we experience, results, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Ross Simmonds and Esther Hicks. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.